Yay.
Oh, good, it worked. Look at that. Okay.
We're ready.
Yes, ready.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the City of Twin Oaks Board of Aldermen meeting for September 17th, 2025. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call roll, please?
Alderman Eisenhower.
Here.
Alderman Cruzen.
Here.
Alderman Stokel.
Here.
Mayor Fortune.
Here. We have an agenda that's been posted for tonight's meeting. If there are no changes or amendments, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. We have a couple citizens with us tonight. Do we have any comments that you would like to make for the board?
Is this the time?
This is
Yes.
the time.
All right. Starting out with a bang.
And if you just introduce yourself.
Yeah,
Thanks for
absolutely.
coming, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm John Pipes. If I haven't met you, it's nice to meet you. I live on Boley on the fifth house on the left.
Yep.
So I prepared a couple remarks just so I could kind of stay on track here. So I just want to raise two concerns that I think directly affect the safety and quality of life in our community. The first is the ongoing issue of speeding on Boley Lane, which I think poses a serious risk to both kids and families. And then the second is what I would deem the lack of enforcement around property maintenance standards, which has left many residents frustrated after years without resolution. Again, my goal is just to share these concerns, but to ask what actions the city's going to take. So I've got a few things underlined for both of those. So first is the speed. I just want to point out, and I think it's obvious anyone that lives on both Preston and Boley, that drivers consistently exceed the 20-mile-an-hour posted speed limit, especially coming up that hill and then coming into the community. The outgoing speedometer is broken and has been for quite some time.
The
It's my understanding that
radar sign.
Yeah, the radar
Okay.
sign. Yeah, that you all are understanding of that. And I understand there's a long-term solar speedometer that's on purchase or is maybe planned to be purchased, which I think is great. But my first question is, why not repair the current one that's there, repair the bulb or something just in the interim until that new one comes in? And then my second would be a request to potentially have St. Louis County Police monitor the traffic either in morning rush hour and afternoon rush hour, specifically when the kids are getting on and off the bus. We've had several instances where drivers have blown past the bus as the kids are getting on. The stop sign is out. That's why I haven't come to one of these before. So it's just concerning when you have a little gaggle there at the top of the street now, which is great, but it's a safety concern. And then number two, the property maintenance standard issues. So I'm not going to point anyone out, but just several homes have, as you know, excessive yard growth, trash, just random objects in the front of their house yard, and they have been for years. We've lived here since 2021, and it's never been rectified. We constantly have to follow up with the city. And I think you guys have taken action in the past, but we just kind of want to know when these conditions are going to stop. I've even gone over and tried to offer to do all the maintenance myself for free, and I never get a response, unfortunately. So I think my biggest thing is just when can we expect enforcement? I know you guys are putting out the dumpsters, which I think is wonderful, and thank you for doing that. But just what can we expect as residents kind of going forward?
Okay. I'll address the radar sign. We purchased, I think, 6 of those back several years ago. And at the time we purchased them, the battery was the best technology that we could get. And now, 6 years later, the new radar signs have the solar capability to them, which we like a lot. First of all, we don't have to change the batteries every day. And the plan that we had talked about was that we would start transitioning over one radar sign every year. I think that one of the things that we're going to discuss here very shortly is our capital budget for next year. And I think I'm going to recommend that we go ahead and replace all of them that we can instead of doing one a year.
Okay.
The only caveat that we have to that is that they require sun, and the location of them, we may have to change the location of some of them. But I think in the meantime, Jake, do you know if any of the batteries still work?
So I think the two down Bowley are down Holland Leaf, almost right across from each other. I think both of those, I can't even get in the one, and the other one, it's about the same. You can't open the thing. I had to like beat the one with the hammer to get it to open, and then you can put two batteries in it, and I replaced the batteries on the one if you're coming in down to the left, and it won't even register anything. And the other one I can't even get, I literally can't open it. So the one on the right hand side.
We have some. Do we have spares at the house?
There were bits and pieces. It's not like any full new replacement ones. Or
Some of them
anything like
wouldn't take a charge.
that. I don't,
Yeah.
They're all taken apart and stuff. The ones we do have down there.
Okay, so I think we're going to take some action on the signs.
Okay.
Regarding the speeding, we've done a lot of traffic studies in the past on Bowley when we had similar comments that would come to the board meeting. And the study showed that the people aren't really going as fast as what you think they are.
Sure.
I'm not saying they don't speed, but have you noticed we've had some reports in the past of FedEx drivers, UPS drivers, mostly in violation, delivery trucks and that kind of thing. Do you see a lot of residents speeding? What do you see mostly?
I would say it's a combination. I think the more pressing issue is that with the kids walking to and from the bus stop. I think that's my biggest concern. I get people are trying to get home and whatnot, or delivery drivers, but when it's happening near the bus times coming, especially with drivers just willfully ignoring the stop sign that the bus puts out, that's problematic.
Yeah.
So,
John,
That's my recommendation.
I'm sorry, did you have anything you wanted to add or comment on, or?
I will comment that routinely in the afternoon I do follow the bus or in front of the bus. Not every day, most days I am. As far as the morning, typically not following or catching the bus in the morning, but I will address that,
Okay.
especially in the morning.
yeah, I've seen it more in the morning. Quite frankly. Afternoon, 3:30, 3 o'clock, not many people are coming home from rush hour. At that point, it's more in the morning when I've seen the blatant drive across. So I get the speedometer limitations. I think the solar thing is a great thing. I put my little goofy sign out there too to
Yeah.
help people slow down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't want a kid to get hit or for there to be an incident.
Well,
and then we
the
have a big
radar,
problem.
the radar signs, I think, do definitely help.
I
Because sometimes people don't realize how fast they're going, and they see the radar. I mean, they know they're there. And then there are those that want to try to see how fast they can go to get the radar sign go up. But we'll try to get the radar sign issue. We'll talk about it at the capital budget meeting. And I don't think it makes sense. I mean, we can afford to go ahead and just replace them. I think it's going to be a matter of finding if we can get them in good locations. I know a couple of them are going to be hard, and we may have to change them around.
Okay.
I looked at Bowley, what's that, northbound, and I think there is a spot halfway close to where the one is now, but I'm not sure.
We're slowly getting rid of our trees, so maybe there'll be a better spot soon.
Yeah, we'll certainly address that. Do you want to address the code enforcement?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've been having, I think you're probably aware of the last several meetings that we've had over the last maybe 6-8 months that we've been talking about it with the board. And so we've got some good protocols established now in place and an actual procedure to follow with the code enforcement hearing, which is one of the things that we were lacking before. So we have been sending out, the board decided on an established procedure that was already in the code, but that we're following now with the code enforcement hearing to send courtesy letters first and give people extra time on this first round, because like you said, we have not consistently enforced it in years past. So giving people through this weekend. So all the people that got courtesy letters, there were 15 total sent out throughout the city so far, and giving them through the 22nd. And then we're going to do follow-ups and see who has followed through and who hasn't. And if they haven't, they'll be getting a registered mail letter after that. And then we'll move to code enforcement hearings. So that's kind of the
That's great.
time.
Has the city in the past ever just said, hey, we're gonna come cut your grass today? Or hey, we're gonna come, remove things? No.
We have never, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
The board and the city has not been willing to take it that far.
I can tell you, I've put personal notes in people's mailbox, but no action. But one of the problems with the past was and this was probably before you moved here, we used to kind of handle our own code enforcement. We go around and either myself or city administrator, somebody would knock on the doors, tell them they were in violation and they needed to get it fixed. And we were told that wasn't a very smart thing to do. You shouldn't be doing that. If you're not a professional code enforcement official, you really shouldn't be doing that. So we made a decision to turn it over to professionals, and we made a contract with St. Louis County. And the problem in St. Louis County was they have their code, we have our code. They're not always familiar with what our code is, and they were hesitant to write the violations. So it wasn't working. So we now have worked through and we have a process which is going to work.
Okay.
And I appreciate your patience. I know I hear it every day when my wife comes home about so-and-so needs to do this and so-and-so needs to do this.
I hear it as well. So, that's great.
And I think going forward, we have a plan in place that's going to take care of that.
Okay.
I want to thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, yes.
My name is John Miller, also a resident of Twin Oaks. Thank you to the board. And same concern as the first point. Right? And I live down Autumn Leaf Drive, so coming down around that curve there where it's downhill, people are accelerating just because it is downhill. And with that sign not operating for a length of time now, I think I want to use the word acceleration. It's kind of the wrong word to use right now, but the acceleration or frequency that people are going up and up and up in their accelerated speed, it's just becoming more noticeable and more noticeable, and the frequency, because the one that is working as you enter Boley, as soon as it starts blinking, you see people hit the brakes. You see people, it works very, very well, very, very effectively. And when people are coming downhill, around that bend of Autumn Leaf, and there is no signal, there's no sign that you're speeding there, people are going even faster. And I think everybody's just thinking about, I'm almost home, I have to do this after this. You're thinking about a long day of work, or what do you have to do next? And it's not cut through traffic. We know it's no exit out the other way, so it is mostly residents, right? And there's some commercial vehicles that are violating the speed limit as well, but I'd say the majority are people that are neighbors. So big concern for the safety of for children first, but all of us, anybody that's just walking up and down the street of any age. So in the meantime, as the budget concern of when to replace it by a more effective, longer lasting option of a solar battery operated clock, if there could be a temporary solution to it that might be less expensive, ask the board to consider that too, of just replacing the current operating speed limit alert sign, the blinking one. If it's older technology that's 6 years ago or longer, that might be a reasonable solution for the short term. So
I think
Just wanted to
thank you. I think with the public safety in mind, I think I'm going to ask the board that we maybe not even wait until the budget process and we take some immediate action on it. And I don't know how long it will take us to get those signs, but
We could probably find one of those or rent, or say, talk to John about getting one of those pull behind ones too for meanwhile.
A trailer one temporarily.
Yeah. we're going to talk about doing something instead of waiting for the next year budget cycle to take place.
I think it
The
takes
good
about
news,
8 weeks.
the good news that I'm hearing is that I think the radar signs are working when they work, that it does
I agree.
cause people to hit the brake periodically, like going down Autumn Leaf. If where that radar sign is, if they at least would hit the brake once there, by the time they get down a little bit further, they're not doing 40 miles an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah, even if it's 25, that's really, really fast in that area.
Yeah.
Where people are pedestrians. 25 miles an hour is really, really fast, and
Yeah.
it looks really fast. I mean, just from your driveway, and you see it, and
Yeah.
I mean, people yell, "Slow down!" And it's effective when somebody's windows are down. People hit the brakes, but just when you're at a dead stop on Big Bend and you enter that neighborhood, you're just starting to accelerate when that first sign blinks at you.
Mhm.
And I'll be behind that car that's about to do it, myself included, and you see the brakes tap right then. It's just a great reminder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just is really, really effective. And yeah, whatever you can do to put that into the budget of sooner than later. That's why I wanted to come tonight.
Good.
So, thank you.
Well, on behalf of the board, I'd really like to thank you for coming. We'd like to have you more often.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a consent agenda consisting of the Board of Aldermen regular meeting minutes from September the 3rd, bills list from August the 30th to September 12th, and credit card statement for August 2025.
Is it yoga time? Is that yoga time right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Report of committees, financial reports.
Good evening. In the packet, you have both the July and August monthly report. I'll focus on the August report in case unless anybody has questions on the July. They're pretty consistent. The end of August, city finances continued to be very healthy. Cash balances of cash and certificate of deposit over $2.4 million, which compares to about $2.2 million at this time last year. And that's really because revenues so far have been higher than expenditures. So the total fund balances of the various funds are right at $2.8 million at the end of August. If you look on page 2, the statement of revenues, expenditures, and change in fund balance, we do show that we've brought in about almost $340,000 more than we've spent so far this year. Now, a lot of that is because we're still spending those capital improvement projects. So that will change over the next few months, I'm sure, to some degree. But revenues are up about 16% from the same period a year ago. A lot of that is sales tax, up 15%. The licenses, mainly merchant licenses, are up considerably, 10% from a year ago, which is a really significant number, I think. Also, we're doing a lot better in investment income because we have that certificate of deposit. So we've got almost double the amount of interest income so far this year compared to last year. On the expenditure side, we have spent about 7% more than we did a year ago. which is pretty much expected because we've spent a lot of capital improvements. 238,000 compared to 161,000 at this time, compared to last year at this time. So those, like I say, those resulting fund balance about 2.8 million. If you look at expenditures, we show parks expenditures as being up quite a bit. That's really because we shifted the allocation of salaries from roads to parks this year versus last year. And that's why a lot of why road expenditures are down. We did have some contractual work last year that we didn't have so far this year. And then we also shifted some of the administrative events to parks from last year, and that's why parks is up. We have spent all of the money for debt service in 2025, and of course that's a consistent number over the years. Page 3, we do again show a detail of the various sales taxes, and we are up 145,000 so far this year versus last year, about 15%. Again, as that matures and we see those last 2 months are going to be the big ones that may cause an adjustment to these numbers. But still, if you look at the trend and just over the last 5 years, a significant increase in sales tax, a lot of it due to new businesses, I would suppose, and some of it due to inflation. And then the page 4, we do look at, we do compare the budget or show the budget for the year. I have adjusted the numbers to include the budget adjustments that were made from the original for capital improvements. We increased the capital improvements budget by 329,000 from the original number, and everything is on budget. We've only spent about a third of that capital improvement number. But if you look at what the plan is, the expended revenues versus expenditures, we plan to spend a little over 200,000 more than we bring in. I think it's probably going to be a little better than that when it's all said and done, because revenues are coming in strong, and expenditures are pretty much as planned. Any questions?
Thank you. We have a park committee report tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to do it. Cindy wasn't able to be here tonight. So I'm just going to review Family Fun Day, which everybody most everybody in the committee was able to be there. We met at 11:30. We had a couple of kids from the Valley Park School, which helped out wonderfully. We did have the new duck game that we included, even though the ducks really didn't stand up. And the bottle toss, the lollipop tree, and of course the tattoos are always a fun thing and very popular. The popcorn and cotton candy. Rachel and her husband did the popcorn, and Cindy did the cotton candy, and everybody loved it. And it was fun to give kids sugar and send them home with whistles that they won. I did want to mention that Corinna's and Save On both donated $100 gift cards that we raffled off. And yes, those are very popular when they come out. And Save On did a really nice thing. They did it as an Amazon card, so that if you didn't want to use it in their store, but I wanted to make sure that they were acknowledged for actually giving to the community. And we did have the food truck. Didn't make its minimums because it was so hot. We did have good attendance, and even the owner of the tacos truck said, you had great attendance, it's just it's too hot and people you don't want to eat when it's that hot. So
Yeah.
I think overall it was a success. It was just that it was 1,000,000 degrees and in the sun. The park committee did go over some capital projects for the park, and they listed them in their order after we talked a little bit, and really the number one, what they would like to present to the board is just like what they would like to see done. The number one was the band, a new band pavilion.
Can we wait till the park committee presents that? Are they gonna present it before the Capitol meeting?
We won't.
No?
I don't-
You have the list?
I have the list right
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
there's a band pavilion that we discussed, and that would be an additional one right off of the basketball court with its own dedicated electricity, and that way the bands could come down, unload, and not have to go through the park.
Is
And eliminate the sand volleyball court.
A question that immediately comes to my mind is it a multi-use? Because there's only how many concerts every year?
That's true, I mean.
So it'd only be used 4 days a year? So anyway, I think it would have to be a something.
Could have more events down there? I don't know.
Yeah,
That was just something
okay.
that we were talking about mainly for convenience and safety.
Yeah,
And
but if it's a structure sitting there, it's only gonna be used 4 days a year by a band. That doesn't seem right. It needs to be used for something else too.
okay.
We need to think about that.
Well, like I said, these are just preliminary ideas, and these were just the ones that
Yeah.
I thought of. The next one was the wildflower and native garden area to utilize the cow pond, which it'll be an educational kind of place because it's about an acre. There's a lot of potential there. We could grow, we could start it even small. There's some grants that are available, and Rachel was very excited about, she says, I'll help write the grants to be able to get it started. And everybody was very excited about that. There would be a new path that we could
Mhm.
put through there, a walking path, and we could do pollinators, we could do natural prairie grass, and have different things set up so people could see what it would look like. It would take a few years to get it established, but once they're established,
We could do memorial trees. Or
memorial trees,
pavers.
yes, but they also said pavers,
Yeah.
which is something that the park committee thought was nice, where you could just buy a brick.
Yeah.
And because there are a lot of people that love the park and would like to be able to do something in remembrance or
Yeah.
dedication to somebody.
So basically be a quiet area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably a good use of that.
Then the other thing which we're getting numbers on again is the tennis court, to be able to redo the tennis court and to cover it. We would also take out the fence and replace the fence. I mean, all of that area would be gone.
Was that a third priority?
Mhm.
Over, okay,
It's just their order.
It's just the order of they would, and a lot of this would depend too on what we receive from bids to say,
yeah,
hey, this is approximately what it would cost.
Yeah.
It's way out of line. Can we do this? I mean, it'll adjust.
Yeah.
And then the last one was paving the park paths, all of the paths throughout, and I know we're getting a bid on that too.
Yeah.
So those were some of the ideas. We just put together
okay.
a small.
It gives us
amount
something to
be
talk
able
about. Yep.
Consider for capital projects.
All right.
Oh, and then the photos, we put out the request for photos, please. Send them on in for the calendar for 2026. That's it.
I get some in my email. I'm not sure they're coming to, it comes to Frank. Do you get Frank's old?
Frank's email has an autoresponder that says this inbox is no longer monitored and they should send it to me. So
Okay.
if they're sending it to Frank, they get that.
Did you get the one from
autoresponder.
Ruth Wheeler?
Yes. we
Okay,
did.
good. I
Yes.
didn't know
Yes.
because I'm getting it and I didn't know
Yeah.
if you were getting it or not.
Yeah, we did get those. Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. No old business, new business. We have another resident who would like to volunteer for planning and zoning, which is good. We can always use people. It's Jeff Knox. Jeff has been a resident here for a long time. It says 15 years, but it seems like more than that. Has actually been on the committee before. And I would like to put him up and nominate him for the Planning and Zoning Committee.
What do you need one of us to say?
A motion to approve.
Motion to approve your nomination of Jeff Knox for planning and zoning.
Okay.
That's like a whole thing I said there. All
Second.
right.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Let Jeff know he is now on Planning and Zoning. You want that
Then
back?
he's gonna remember
Sure.
how boring it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send him an email.
Time to do curb cuts again, right? Okay, we don't have any discussion items, but while it's on my mind here, the board agrees. I would like to direct the staff to get a quote on the radar signs.
Okay.
In a delivery date, if we could get them.
Mhm.
And also, I would like to have a backup plan. Jake, maybe look into what could we do as a temporary fix until we can get these things in place. So if the board would agree, I'd
Traffic
like
control has them.
to have them bring that to the next board meeting.
I agree.
All right.
Okay, I can do that.
Public Works report.
The first thing I have on there is the pump being installed this week. It isn't yet. I guess we're still waiting on the panel. Once the panel's here, Cardinal's supposed to get a hold of me and they're gonna set the install, which is gonna be a couple days. So hopefully that's next week. We've had some issues with water, some irrigation down at the intersection that's busted. It was like a main. Water was gushing like last Thursday. I finally saw it. Turned off all the water, got a hold of Alternative Rain. They did actually get here, what day was that, on the 16th? And then basically it's a mess where the roots had busted through one of the pipes. And when they're digging, it's literally roots everywhere. Those cypress are so thirsty, it just filled up some spots and made a big mess. But they're supposed to get it back up and running and everything for all the water in the intersection so we can get some plants and everything water and trees water down there, hopefully Friday. Goats were expected in the early spring 2026 is kind of what we're thinking. We're gonna wait on that.
For our visitors, you might want to explain that.
We have some goats that are gonna be coming into the park, basically to clean up a Northwoods section of it. We thought it'd be kind of a cool, event to try to bring in. I think was it 40,
Goats on the go.
60 goats.
Yeah.
So
They clear invasive species and
Yeah,
eat them,
that's
you know,
great.
so, yeah.
hopefully that'll be in the early spring.
Can bring them up to my neighbor's backyard.
Yeah.
There'll be a few that go missing.
Right.
and-
Not that we're mentioning any
Anyway.
particular address.
Right.
You didn't say that.
Last week, or 2 weeks ago, me and Isaiah went and rented a stump grinder, and there's a bunch of stumps that we took care of in the park, just kind of cleaned it up, and a couple areas, seed and straw after doing that. We fixed the gate to the entrance of the park. It was kind of rigged how it was. It got ran over once, I guess that was Memorial Day or whatever,
Mhm.
and it was all messed up, so kind of fixed that. It's a lot more solid now. We've been getting loads of mulch delivered in the Northwoods area, so we've been using that mulch. I think we've got 6 or 8 loads of that stuff and been trying to mulch all the Northwoods trail. It must have been mulched at one point.
Yeah, it was.
So just thought kind of clean everything up and with everything growing wild up there, at least it's a decent path too now. We also I got that brush hog out the other day and we cleared like a path that you can actually take through the cow pond area now and just kind of around to at least kind of see what we do have up there. It's pretty much all blackberry craziness in there. It's just a huge amount of weeds and overgrowth. It's probably been cut like I don't know, I would guess probably 4 or 5 years ago. It looked like it may have been cut, but it'll be nice to plant if we do that native thing and kind of get some nice looking plants in there and utilize the area, but I think before we get to any of that, we're gonna need to brush hog like the whole thing down and then probably till or disc up somehow, the majority of the area that we end up doing. The park or the water fountain here, that's the other one. The park water fountain got removed finally. The plumbers got down there, cleaned that all out, took it out, broke up the concrete. I got rid of all that stuff. A little bit of scrap from that water fountain, but it's all cleaned up, and I ended up seeding dirt seed and straw in it, so it'd be a lot better now. We cut down the tree too by the volleyball court and cleaned up all the weeds and stuff around that little area. And then we also had the plumbers down the park again for there's a toilet that was continuously running after the weekend. We got it Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day it was, but it just completely
Monday.
keeps flushing. And they did fix that. And then we had a water leak up here at City Hall. They took care of both of those. It's all good now. Project updates. The roof replacement, I did get back in contact finally with the insurance company, and they are not going to be able to do vinyl siding full replacement. They can just do the replacement of the steel, so we'd have to basically either paint the whole thing and then just have maintenance issues maybe with that every 5 to 10 years, repainting it or something, or we can come out of pocket and do the whole thing. I do have a bid for it. It was around $16,000 to reside and everything around the bell house, and kind of bring us back up to code for everything on that as well. So that's kind of where we're at with everything right now. Does anyone have any questions about anything?
Busy guy.
Good looking, healthy tree you put in the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to tell them about your killer tree deal?
Yeah, there was a tree. I went looking around and found it was like a $500 tree usually, a little Japanese maple. And I asked him, I was like, I just wanted to see what our price was going to be on that, and he told me it was $100. I'm like, what? I felt like I was stealing the thing for that price, but it's down in the park on the corner, right across the bridge. It's a really pretty little tree, so thought we got a good deal on that thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
April?
Okay, so quickly, I did talk a little bit about the code enforcement update, but just so that I'll just say one more time that we've sent out 15 courtesy notices. And again, these are as directed by the board, all focusing on the nuisance code. So tall grass, inoperable vehicles, property maintenance issues, and accumulations of junk and trash. So I feel we've had a couple of phone calls from people, which has been great, positive, saying, yes, thank you for the notice. I am going to deal with X, Y, or Z. So that has been a good thing. We've also had some negative phone calls, but we'll focus on the positive. Anyway, so hopefully after this weekend, the yard waste containers will be delivered tomorrow. So we have very specific locations about where we want to put those. Jake is going to go around with Gateway and make sure that they put them in the right places. So if you get phone calls from residents saying, why is there a dumpster here? You can tell them why. It's for yard waste only. So we hope that a lot of people will take advantage of that this weekend and clear out any brush, limbs, whatever they've got around, and, take a look around their property and get things cleaned up. So they will be there through the weekend. Gateway will pick them up on Monday. So they'll be, and then I have all the locations listed there if you're curious about where they're going to be. We have one in every neighborhood, basically.
I saw the 2 dumpsters on Autumn Leaves this morning, and I thought,
Yeah, no, that was for a homeowner's project. So yeah, that was not us. So the other thing is I'm going to be looking at some options for a new payroll service provider. We've had issues with Paylocity, and we've been using them for about 10 years now. And I think it's probably time for us to make a change to something more user-friendly. So I'm looking into that. I did get updated bids on the City Hall signage. So I have 2 bids right now. I'm just waiting on clarification about one question. So I still plan to have that for you guys to look at. Two different options for signage. They're similar, but just so that you have some choices, and I hope to still get that done by the end of the year. And then a reminder that we will have our budget meeting next week. I know you're out of town, but we had to do it because we were waiting on St. Louis County to do the final numbers. And so we have to have the property tax hearing to set the property tax rate for 2025. And then we also will have our initial budget meeting like we did last year, the lunch meeting. And in that meeting, I'm just going to kind of go over with you guys sort of what we have done this year, where we're at, how much is left. And then as a part of that, as you remember, we've got some multi-year projects that we've signed on to. So I want everybody to be aware of what we've already committed to for 26. So the second phase of the park lighting is a good example. So we'll have those numbers, and then that way the board can decide what additional things you want to spend money on for 26. And then we'll have another meeting to talk about it again. So project updates. I did get a response from the Crescent Avenue sidewalk contractor. Spoke with them today. So they are disputing our calculations for the liquidated damages on the project. So we'll see where that goes. So kind of balls in their court to decide what kind of information they want to give us to dispute that. So haven't heard back from them. Bowley entrance is totally done. We're just waiting on the seed and straw, which is supposed to happen before the end of the month. And so they're going to make sure that those areas get stabilized, and then we will pay out the last little bit of the retainage that we're holding for that once we establish that's done. I did finally get another update from the park lighting late today. So they do have our new pole, the extra pole that was ordered late, and they're now waiting on outlets and outlet covers, I believe. They're supposed to be in next week, and so they're waiting until everything is here for them to schedule the electricians to come, and they will be in the park for 2 to 3 days to finish up the changes that they need to make to finish up at least phase 1 of the project. So
Is it just one pole that's going in?
we have one extra pole that was the change order pole that we had ordered, so that they forgot or whatever to order at the time. So we were waiting on that one to come in. That is the one that's going up by the park access path. And then we will have one additional pole, which is the main pole that will be next year when they order the Wi-Fi, the main pole up at the very top. So there are two poles missing. You're right.
Okay,
yes.
right.
But one we were supposed to have this year as phase 1. It was the change order pole that we added on. Actually, the change order pole was in the second one in the Rose Garden, but they were like, so that we don't have to drive back in, let's go ahead and put this pole there and leave the one up front open. So that's what we're waiting on. And then there's still some timing issues that they're trying to make sure that that back end interface is working as intended. So we're kind of waiting on those couple of things. But I have asked them to go ahead and order whatever they need for us to start next year, because the Wi-Fi is going to be really crucial for us to get those cameras working better in the park. Right now, they're not working great because we just don't have really functional Wi-Fi down there. So we'd like to get that done as early in the year as possible. So I have told them to please go ahead and get that going so that we can get those installed early spring. So, and then we did get, it's in Dropbox. If you guys haven't seen it, we did get the formal notification that we were awarded the TAP grant for Merrimack Station. So more on that TBD. So any questions?
How much to say?
No.
Okay.
The whole amount, we'll say
The
that.
whole amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
80% of the whole amount. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Paul, attorney's report?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight. Okay, I don't have anything. Lisa, any?
No, I don't have anything.
Kim?
Think about it.
No, sir.
Joe?
Do we have an update on what's going on at
76 or whatever?
whatever the address is there? That
They have been sent their list of violations to correct, and we have not gotten a response since then. Nor have we gotten any further applications or
So
any
the
other-
violations are, county wrote the violations, right?
Well, correct, but we gave them the entire list basically in a
Yeah.
one-page document. These are the,
But the violations are on the
properties.
county record.
correct. Yes.
Okay. We met with the contractor. It's been about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, at least.
Contractor came in and met with us. We explained to him that all of the violations had to be worked off before any work could go forward on his properties. He wanted a list of the violations. It was his opinion. He had seen the plans, preliminary plans for the house, that property. And it was his opinion that it needed to go back for many modifications. So I'm assuming that that is now back into the hands of the architect or whoever it is, working with the contractor. And we also talked about Alex's property, basically. And we expected that property to be stabilized. And we needed an acceptable water management plan for that property. And we had preferred that the contractor do the work on that property as well. And he agreed with us that it was a pretty big project for one person to try to take on. So I don't know where that went, but we haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything since that conversation. So,
But we will need to be pursuing the nuisance violations as we are
Yeah,
pursuing.
that's,
So there are
yeah.
things there that will be, that will have to be pursued.
yeah, I mean, they're splitting and stacking wood, which is fine, but I'd rather them spend that time keeping the grass cut.
Right.
he's got some pretty high weeds over there
Yeah.
as well.
Right.
But his mindset is that the high weeds are helping him control the water flow. So.
Okay.
But I also noticed even on the property with the little house, the weeds were high.
Yeah.
On that one as well. So.
Yeah.
He's in violation. Yeah. So, question I have is, okay, we sent out I'll call them friendlies letters.
Mhm.
When do we send out the official letters?
Monday.
Monday? Okay.
So we'll go around and check all the ones that we sent and see if
Okay.
there's been any progress. And if not, then we will be sending
And that's when
registered
the
mail.
10-day
Monday.
period. 10-day
And that
period.
will also be a scheduled code enforcement hearing at that point
Okay,
for
good.
them to attend.
That's the answer. Okay, I don't have anything. Any final citizen comments? Again, I want to thank you guys for coming.
Yes,
Isn't
thank
it
you.
exciting?
Appreciate
Show
it.
your friends,
Yeah.
bring your neighbors, especially you, bring your neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks again. Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.